Good evening. Let's do it. Part 2. More play and explain with myself. First one went pretty well, which was funny, but we'll see what we can do. Right, that is one table set up. Right, sweet. Okay, so no player notes on these guys, which is, I mentioned that last time. I do have kind of notes on a few players in this pool, not all of them. Our first decision on the left. We'll play sensibly as I tried to do, in the first video. Which means trying not to get complacent, from big blinds and making silly calls. Which is important. I'm going to put on some music and get a copyright claim. I don't really care. Who knows? Alright, we'll put on a little bit of techno. Why not? Similar to the last video, this is probably only going to be kind of 25-30 minutes. I do have plans at about 7 o'clock, so may need to head off there, but yeah. We have a short stack man on our right, which is interesting. Typically an indicator of a weaker player, not playing with the full stack, but of course that's not always the case. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm calling this against this raise. No need to 3-bet really. Against the button open, I'd actually consider 3-betting. I know it's not like, we have 6 high, but I don't know, I think we put a few of his, marginal hands in a tough spot that obviously have us beat. If he's obviously opening Queen 9 offsuit in the small blind and we 3-bet, he's in a tough spot having to call, and play it pot out of position. So, I don't know. Maybe the solver hates it, but, who knows. AJ. Once again, we'll go 2.3, which is, yeah. We'll have a look at this. I wonder if, okay. I wonder if there's any report from the hands the last day. Last 7 days. Was it in the last this week? I mean, I haven't actually played here recently, so I think if I put last week, no, last month, I don't know. I'm not sure how much it'll tell us anyway. Maybe I didn't play enough hands. I know you have to play. Yeah, no. You have to play 100 hands at least, which is obviously still a small sample size, but meh. King Queen on our left. We'll be 3-betting this probably if he opens. I'm gonna open this 5-handed. I mean, I don't know. It definitely could be a fold. Um, yeah, looks like a check. He can have a lot of hands that crush this board, of course. Some sets and better. Yeah, we can just fold here. We don't even have backdoor flush draw or anything, and yeah, it was a big bet anyway. I think it's standard pre, just because we don't want to be calling in the small blind against button open. Folding this and opening this. We don't want to be calling in the small, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure 3-betting is fine, and then just check folding that flop. Like, we have other hands that we might want to get a bit more creative with. You know, if we do have some, of course we're checking kings here as well, or we're checking aces here. If I'm playing live and I'm like, maybe a certain player, I might take a different line. But I mean, obviously it's not a huge thing, but yeah, I definitely lean towards checking. But yeah, I mean, it is not a great spot if I do have queens and check, which I would do at queens, and then face a huge bet. It's, I don't know, especially when on some turns we're gonna be facing another big bet, and then the SPR gets quite low. You know, we'll see. You can certainly have a lot of stuff. It was on this table. Yeah. Um, yeah, he can certainly just have Jack 9 suited and all sorts of stuff, really. So, yeah, not a big deal, really. I hope the music's not too loud. Fold and a fold. Interesting. Doing the opposite of what this guy does, of course. Calls in the small blind, which is interesting. I think, yeah, I think there's definitely like a category of hands people can have when they call in the small. Like if he does have something like 6-7 suited, he might not want a 3-bet, but still call. Um, yeah, so I'm not sure whether to go small or big. I'm gonna bet that. Um, I think I'm up against a lot of, there can be some draws. Um, definitely. I mean, I'm not sure. Like maybe that is just a spot where I go small. But if I do go 77% there, I think my button was. If I do go big on the flop, and he calls, I would be looking to just check back some turns. And then call some river bets, depending on, obviously, sizing and the run out. Um, like when he does call a big bet, it is quite strong. And of course, I can just, like, he can literally just have ace-10 offsuit, you know. Um, so, I'm not sure. Maybe I am meant to go small. Don't have a heart, obviously, and as I say, there's a lot of. He can definitely have some good shots here. But I'm not sure. I mean, maybe it's awful. We've an all in over here. I'm interested as to how these two hands ended up all in. We'll have a look. Fun hand on the right. I have auto top up on as well, of course. This is interesting. So kind of a bigger open. 14 would be 4x. I'm gonna go slightly less than 4x. I don't know. You know, I think against a bigger open, maybe we okay. I'm personally just folding this. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm happy to just fold. um, it's a weird one. Yeah, what is he doing? We will 3-bet here anyway. Would be nice if we didn't face a jam from Thiago. This is really interesting on the left. I don't think he has many. Well, look, okay, I'm like wildly speculating here, but I think there's definitely less ace X. He can definitely just have pocket eights, pocket tens, something like that. Hopefully not pocket sevens. But yeah, we're just gonna go small. We're gonna 3-bet here, and he folds. I don't know what this is. We're gonna 3-bet. Maybe I should be going 4x just because the extra caller. This guy, I have my concerns about how good he really is. So you know, I don't know. Maybe I should go bigger because he's just gonna call with a lot of marginal hands. Yeah, flop is fine. I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna bet small and look to go big on turns. There's a lot of hands that are gonna call flop and have to fold the turn. Like, I kind of think of hands like pocket eights, you know, pocket nines, eights, seven, sixes down. That could definitely call, you know, on the flop, but then on the turn they're kind of in a spot. And yeah, for sure, putting in a big bet on the turn if I get called. Not sure what to do on the river. I'd probably just go with it all the way on the river. You know, as I say, he can certainly have a queen. That's, you know, completely reasonable. But if not, he's in a tough spot. And I think I'm taking the same line with aces, for example. You know, I have to take the same line with aces, just because, you know, I can get hero called a lot, on the river, I guess. So therefore, have to play my value as aggressively, of course. I've been trying to do that recently, you know, in live cash as well. Just try go a little bit thinner with value, just because, you know, people will give out about, oh, these guys call me, you know, with the call me with third pair, call me with all this stuff. Just go thin with value, and should I get that in on the flop? I wonder. That looked like a big hand. He called off. What did he have? King Jack. Yeah, it's pretty aggressive from him with top pair. Yeah, I just don't think you're getting called by Ace Jack or anything weaker, for example. But who knows? It's kind of flop I would check back, I think. Certainly not bad to go for a bet. Can check this one back. Interesting. He can definitely just have some, like, what do we think? Ace 4 offsuit? A little stronger. Stronger than I thought, which is interesting. I would be 3-betting this hand for sure. Where is he? Where is he small blind? We put a little... Sure. Let us 3-bet. I think I tend to go a little bit smaller when I'm in position here. Just because I feel like it's quite a tough spot for the small blind to take. You know, like you open blind v blinds. Gonna check this flop back. You open blind v blind. Like faking a 3-bet, you're out of position. It's so horrible. I think they like fold a lot of their hands. They kind of just have to. Okay, we'll sort that note in a minute. We're gonna flat here against this guy. I think he's pretty shit. Just gonna call on the left. Not loving it at all. I can also just be beat with some king queens and stuff. Don't feel great about this at all. Instinct's telling me to fold, but we'll see. Sure. Value. Looking to check back, please. That's fair enough. I guess we block some straights. I don't know about this. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's a good flop for him, for sure. Like when he opens blind blinds, and then calls for 3-bet. Oh Jesus. Just gonna check here, whatever. Yeah, this is close. Like I actually just might be meant to fold. In terms of the aspects of our hands, blockers, blah blah blah. Oh, this is interesting. I feel like I have all sorts of options. I don't know. I don't know here. It's just like I could call it turn bet, but multi-way it's pretty it could be pretty loose from me when I have ace high. Check to me, we're definitely gonna be betting. We can get called by a load of straight draws. Some gut shots, straight draws, pairs, whatever. I think we're always ahead though. This is interesting. He calls. He opened. Okay. He opens. Check called. Flop. Turn. Gets a little dicey. We'll check back. If he checks, it feels like 7s or 8s. Or ace high. Can we get called by 7s or 8s? Or ace high for that matter? Well, you got called by something. It would be cool if it was exactly one of those hands, I guess. King high. I think our buddy was maybe tilted from my hero call with the king. Yeah. I think nice to get called, but it's quite loose. I mean, I could be like bluffing with king queen, and you know. That's funny with king high. Yeah, it's yeah king high. Like it's what to do. I think we have to call at least once. We have a couple outs if we're behind. Well, we hope. Here's a fun one. Feels nitty checking back a set. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, it's probably fine to check back. Like, literally, what is it? 4-liner, flush got there, whatever. Like, my thought process is that, you know, let's say someone does have 10s or queen jack. If I bet river, am I getting value from these hands? Probably not, right? Like, I think he has to fold. He absolutely has to fold with him behind. And then this guy as well just has to fold, unless he thinks, I don't know. Maybe I'm just blasting. So I don't really think I'm getting called by. I can definitely get called by better, but the problem is, like, it's just too thin. Um, yeah, I think, yeah, yeah, I don't know. Like, even just the lower end of the straight, um, when I bet river, like, he might even, like, he apparently, like, if he has a three here, right, I bet river, it's almost like a bluff, right? He's not feeling good about it. With him behind, everything has just got there. I don't know. That's why, I kind of thought about it. Fold. I know it's not. It's kind of a lot of people kind of be watching this saying it's obvious, but I am trying to just explain it to everyone, even someone who wouldn't intuitively think, "Oh, I got a set, I have to bet," right? But I'm just kind of that's my thought process on why I'm just happy to check back, and I'm also happy the fact that I rivered one of my outs because I was behind both. Didn't really talk about that King Jack hand. This can definitely go either way. On the river here, like he can always just have a straight or a set. Um, I was talking as well. Like I have a jack, so I guess I block some jack nines. I also don't have a diamond, so I unblock some diamonds that want to go a bit crazy. Um, but yeah, not the end of the world here. It's probably a fold. I'm sorry. As one of the upswing 4-bet bluff hands, I get excited when I see it. Um, this guy, I've seen him. I've been a little bit questionable. I am just gonna fold. Not crossing my mind to 4-bet bluff here ever because I don't think a recreational player, is 3-bet bluffing too often. I'll be interested. Yeah, Queen 7 suited. So yeah, it's pretty out of line from our friend here. What's that? Straight? Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, okay. Just to throw that little note there. Folding this. Did I ever get a note on this guy? Called UGG open from yeah, okay. Just interesting. It might be relevant. Open from our fish here. Oh, this is the same guy, okay. Definitely gonna be 3-betting. Is that the right size? 5x against someone who, maybe isn't folding too much. Out of position and all that as well. The flop's not kind to us. Checking. Yeah, so I am gonna fold. Like, yeah, like I can just get bullied off these hands quite a lot because that's the second time we've check folded this session. There was another time over here with the King Queen of Clubs, remember? Um, but like, yeah, we just have nothing. Even if we have spades, or even in the Ace of Hearts, maybe we could call and see turns. Um, But yeah, like we can just be dead. Obviously on this board, even with our ace queen here, you know what I mean. Like even ace or queen on the turn might just get me in even more trouble. So not the end of the world. Just check folding. Um, we have some hands we can call with. So even if we do just check this with aces, which we would do, I have no problem just check calling with aces and then working it out on turns. Um, because as I say, we are exploitable otherwise. Not that it's a big factor, I don't think, in this game, but just as I suppose, just as a fact. Interesting on the left here. Wouldn't be surprised to see a small flush from Stealth 9 here. Just, when you fast play, definitely something like 7-8 of spades or something. Okay, yeah, no, I should just stop talking. That's incredible. That's wild. That's like absolutely like he check raise flop multi-way with that hand. And the best, like he snapped it off. Yeah, look at this. Like I'm not comfortable here on the flop. You don't have many outs, and then he just jams pot, and he beat him in the pot with the two pair. Wow, that's fairly interesting. Wow. Yeah, yeah. That's another thing. The rake. Notice it's quite high. It's 10 bigs. Which well, this thing with the micros, it's obviously quite hard to beat for that reason. Um, I was watching a video before this by Yuri Pelag, I believe his name is. One of the upswing coaches. And he basically looked at, so he's reviewing Charlie Carroll's discipline. Reviewing Charlie Carroll's gameplay, 100 NL, so 50 cent, $1 cash games. And we had a situation where Charlie was in the small blind. Middle position opened. I think it was button. Was it the I don't know. I think it was the cutoff who opened the video. But essentially, Charlie called in the small blind with King Queen offsuit, and he put a title on the video saying loose, but we have an edge post flop, which he certainly does. Charlie certainly does have an edge post flop. Especially at those stakes where he would typically play much higher. So essentially, Yuri is making the point that he's right. He has an edge, in the small blind. But with the rake structure, especially with these stakes, now he's playing 50 cents, $1, so it's slightly higher. But the rake really gets you, and that is one of the reasons why it is so bad to call from the small blind. Well, there's kind of multiple reasons, but of course you're just getting crushed by the rake. Checking this turn, ace is they can definitely have some outsides that they check. I call. I wonder what he's gonna do now. Nice flop on the right. Be looking to check raise. Right, sorry, I lost you for a second. Sorry, talking through the last hand. Going big here, we have two hearts. We block hearts. Okay, so it's less likely he has that and more likely he has value. Pays me off. I'm expecting some ace x. But the reason I went quite big is that I think when I have two hearts, I he has less bluffs, right? Because I block some of these missed flush draws that he's trying to bluff river with, and therefore I think he is more value heavy. Um, yeah, so this is the exact hand I kind of put him on. And therefore when he bets river, I'm going a little bit bigger because I think an ace is paying me off. If we face a jam on the river, I would fold and fairly quickly, to be honest, which is kind of sick with trip eights, but he's not bluffing, in my opinion, on the river when he jams. If people are there turning some hand like pocket fives into a bluff, to fold out something like what I have, then fucking fair play, and I'm getting exploited. But I'm not too bothered about overfolding to river 3-bet jams. But regardless, yeah, went a little bit bigger here. It's a nice turn, obviously, because flop checks through a lot of ace highs can do that, but that's just why I went a little bit bigger. I also did flop the nuts on the other table, which was nice. That might be too big, I'm not sure. With the jack 10, just folding this with someone behind. Betting flop for value here. A point I made in the... Sorry, I'll talk about this one first. Yeah, just check raising flop, which might be horrible because we're not meant to have too many. We're not meant to have too many like raises on this board because obviously it's a good board for him and all. But there's a couple of bad turns, and even if we are up against a set or some two pairs, I don't think they're folding flop. So it could definitely go either way. I was gonna say something. Betting flop here. No need to go too big. We got a lot of folds from all sorts of random overs like king queen or jack 10, blah blah blah. This is interesting. I'm gonna fold. There's like certainly some help on the turn, but I don't know. I think I've been getting a slight nitty feeling from this guy. He called the my under the gun open with ace queen from the small, which is look, it honestly might be a misclick, it's whatever, but it's just something to keep in mind. So I'm in big trouble. Like on the ace 4 deuce, if he does have 5-3, for example, and he just flopped a wheel, then I'm in trouble. I don't even have the eights I think I have. Interesting on the right, I think I have him beat a lot. He can have value. He can also have ace jack and thinks he's going for value, when he's obviously in quite big trouble. Yeah, top two is just too nitty here, I think, to fold. So wait a second, do I ever jam? So the problem is, if I call the bet, there will be 82 big blinds in there with 42 left. I am gonna jam here purely to deny equity with some pair plus gut shots, for example, king queen. In my opinion, I can absolutely be behind, but if I am behind, I'm not folding to a river bet anyway, right? Let's say the river comes out at deuce. Yeah, so it's very interesting. Let's say the river comes out at deuce and he jams. I don't think I can fold anyway, right? Because I would have a concern that he's doing this with ace jack for value, which we have drawing very, very dead. Well, not dead. So therefore, I'm kind of just like, if I jam turn, is it horrible? I don't know. I think it can probably be okay. purely for, as I say, that reason, denying some equity to some king queen hands, or kind of jack 10, or pair plus good shot. Sure, I'll fold. So that's why I jam turn. It's kind of weird he shouldn't have too many leads on this board anyway, because even if he does have something like ace jack, I can certainly have something that has him in big trouble. And even if I do, for example, if I do have some hand like 5-6 suited, I am going to be betting this flop a lot anyways. So by leading, you kind of get in that awkward spot where you're not getting value, and you might be value owning yourself. I am going to finish up, by the way, in a couple hands. This is weird. The small blind flat is horrible, but I'll just pretend that you guys didn't see it. The reason I didn't want to 3-bet, it probably is just a fold in the first place, but the reason I didn't want to 3-bet is because when he has 24 bigs or whatever he had, I think he just jams a lot, right? And then I'm just in that spot where I'm kind of priced in with king queen to call off, a 25 big blind jam, which it's not the end of the world, but it's certainly it's certainly not optimal. So yeah, that's kind of why I'd do that. Should probably fold in the first place, of course. Another reason I'm kind of incentivized to call, or at least get involved, is because I don't know. I have my concerns about how good this guy is. When I see him playing on 30 bigs. So I feel like it's kind of a straightforward hand to play. I can just if I do flop some equity top pair or some gut shot or something, it's when the stocks are that short, it's kind of easy to play. Interesting on the left. I'm gonna flat. I don't know. I'm gonna flat. He bets small, which makes perfect sense. We're gonna flat. Turn is nice. Turn is very nice. Still behind some hands here. He checks. Going to be betting here. See if we can get some call from like queens potentially. Don't think there's a need to go huge. Wonder if queens or jacks will kind of call this. Yeah, do we go for it all? We could always be chopping. Let's do it. We'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah, interesting. As I say, yeah, I have to go for max value, I think, on the river. Against the queens or jacks type hand, completely feasible for him to just not have either of those and have something a lot worse. But I'm just kind of thinking his range when he 3-bets from the small blind. Not a bad thing at all, by the way, in that hand to 4-bet pre, and I would against some players. But I do feel like the 3-betting and 4-betting at these stakes are maybe not as frequent as they should be, and therefore I'm perfectly happy to flat with ace king and play a pot in position. It was, I would say, kind of an easy hand to play. Got a nice flop, nice run out, and it's whatever. But yeah. Okay, right. I'll be sitting out from this table next time. So yeah, that's all from my side. Do leave some comments and stuff under. Criticize, call me out, whatever. Call one of my plays horrible. I don't mind. I'll look through it, and you certainly could be right. So, all right. Thanks, guys.